Would you please welcome Minister Catherine McKenna to the podium?
Wow, well, it's really amazing to be back here in BC and traveling again. Very excited to be making this really critical announcement that's going to improve lives across the Greater Vancouver area. I also want to recognize that we're on the traditional unceded territory of the Coast Salish peoples. And I want to note that we are seeing here the impacts of climate change, but we know the impacts of climate change are impacting the most vulnerable, including Indigenous peoples. And we need to be working in partnership, continuing to do the hard work together with Indigenous peoples, because that's what reconciliation is all about. I'm thrilled to be here with the Prime Minister. We actually don't do many events together other than Zoom nowadays, so it's great to be back. Premier Horgan, great to be in your beautiful province. And I look across and I see my amazing colleagues, many of whom have been advocating for this announcement for a long time. But first of all, my ministerial counterparts, Joyce Murray, Minister of Digital Government, MP for Vancouver Quadra, Harjit Sajjan, my good friend, Minister of National Defence, MP for Vancouver South, Jonathan Wilkinson, who's always fighting the good fight on climate change, Minister of Environment and Climate Change. And then the folks who are calling me all the time to see how we're moving forward on these announcements. We have Randeep Sarai, MP for Surrey Centre. Ken Hardy, MP for Fleetwood Port Kells. Suk Dhaliwal, MP for Surrey Newton. And of course we have the mayors, because the mayors have also been calling about this announcement as well. Well, look, it's great that we're getting out of the COVID-19 pandemic, that we're able to travel again. We all need to get vaccinated, so please make sure you're getting your double vaccination. But the reality is we will get out of the pandemic, but we're still going to have the climate crisis. And we need to focus in the same way on the climate crisis as we've focused on the pandemic. We need to listen to science and scientists. We need to have a clear vision and goal, which is to save the only planet we have. And we all need to be working together, which is why it is so great for today's announcement. You have the federal government working with the province, working with local municipalities to get something big done that will make a real difference in tackling emissions, but of course also improving lives for people. Since 2015, we've been working hard to get things built across our country, but including in British Columbia. We spent over $4.3 billion in over 550 infrastructure projects. But what does that mean? I would say infrastructure is a made-up bureaucratic word, that these are investments in building the future we want. That's major projects like the Broadway subway, the Millennium Line extension, up to 200 electric buses here in BC as part of our commitment to 5,000 electric buses, 40 new electric vehicle charging stations across Surrey at community centres, rec centres and pools, investments to help folks adapt to the impacts of climate change. We've all seen what's happened to Lytton. Climate change is here, it's having an impact, and we need to do better. Tous les investissements que nous faisons doivent avoir trois objectifs. Ils doivent créer des emplois, ils doivent attaquer au changement climatique et à faire certain qu'on est plus résilient, et aussi ils doivent bâtir des communautés plus inclusives. That's why I'm so proud about today's announcement. Investments in public transit make a huge difference in the lives of people. It means that folks can get home from their jobs faster, kids can get to university or to schools faster, but also they help reduce emissions. The transportation sector represents 25% of Canada's emissions. We need to tackle this sector, and the way we do it is by public transit. But we also need more inclusive communities. If you take Surrey, one of the fastest growing communities, well, here in BC, but in Canada, they need better public transit. The folks there deserve it, and that's exactly what we're doing today. But we also need jobs. And so projects like today's project are going to create jobs. These are shovel-ready projects that we need to move forward on because we're in the COVID-created pandemic, but it's also an economic crisis. So I'm very pleased to be here. I'm very proud to have had the opportunity to work on a massive project like today's announcement. Well, actually, we have a couple. And I'm very proud to be a member of the Prime Minister's team. We've worked really hard on climate change. We're going to continue doing that, and we're going to continue making investments like the investment today. And with that, c'est mon grand honneur d'introduire le Premier ministre, mais aussi mon ami Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau.